Right, welcome to the full council meeting of Wednesday the 3rd of December. I'll now hand you over to the Legal Secretary, Cerys.
Yes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Can I just remind you that, again, this meeting is going to be webcast. It'll be broadcast from the authority's internet site. Images and sound recording may also be used for training purposes within the authority. I need to remind those in the public seating areas that you are also covered by the cameras, so just be aware that you can be seen on screen. You are, by being present here, you are consenting to being filmed, if I can just make you aware of that. I need to also remind everybody that the Chair has the discretion to terminate or suspend the filming if he feels that continuing to do so would prejudice the proceedings or that continued filming might infringe the rights of any individual. I need to remind members that they need to speak using their microphone, but that if you want to speak, you need to indicate to the Chair and wait to be called. Please don't just turn your microphone on. And then can you also please ensure you turn your microphone off once you've finished speaking. And then the final thing, which I'm just reminded by that noise, was can you please turn off mobile phones because they interfere with the sound system. Thank you, everybody.
Right. Item number 1 on the agenda, apologies for absence.
Yes, Mr Mayor, we received apologies for absence from Councillor Tom Lewis and Councillor Simon Williams.
Any more apologies? Right, we go on to item number 2, declarations of interest. And I remind councillors of Part A and Part B. Councillor Carter.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd just like to declare an interest in agenda item 22, the Biffa Profit Sharing Scheme. I'm a Governor of Abercarned Primary School.
Exactly the same as Councillor Carter, Governor of Abercarned School.
Councillor Gareth Lewis.
As per my colleagues, Governor of Abercarned School, therefore declare an interest for agenda item 22. Thanks.
Right, we go on to the open session now. Item number 3, customer scrutiny customer services of Monday the 13th of October.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. Happy to move the minutes.
Second, Mr Mayor.
Right, that's carried. No, vote, sorry. Can we take a vote on the electronic measures, please? That's carried.
Sorry.
No, no.
Councillor Goldsworthy and Councillor Thomas? With them? Oh no, Councillor Tom Lewis? Gareth Lewis, sorry, right. Yeah, that's right. He's looking at the wrong side. Thank you. That's
right,
carried.
that's carried. No, it's not. Oh, yeah, that's carried.
We're all done.
Yeah. Item number 4, scrutiny Chief Executive Crime and Disorder meeting of Tuesday the 14th of October. Have we got a proposer?
Move, Mr Mayor.
Have we got a seconder?
Yes, Mr Mayor, second.
Any comments? Can we take a vote, please, councillors? It's carried. Item number 5, the licensing committee meeting of Wednesday the 15th of October. Councillor
I move, Mr Mayor.
Jones. Right. Any questions? Any comments? Can we take a vote, please, councillors? That's carried.
I move, Mr Mayor.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Chaplin. Right, any questions? Any comments? Can we have a vote, please, councillors? That's carried. Item number 6, full council meeting of Wednesday the 15th of October.
Yes, Mr Mayor, I'm happy to move the minutes.
Seconder? Any questions? Any comments? Can we take a vote, please, councillors? That's carried. Item number 8, Planning, Regulatory and Licensing Committee meeting of Wednesday the 15th of October. Councillor Jones?
I move the minutes of the planning committee, Mr Mayor.
Is there a seconder?
Second.
Questions? Any comments? Can we take a vote then, please, councillors? That's carried. Rights of Way Committee meeting of Monday the 20th of October. Councillor Jones?
I move the minutes of the Rights of Way Committee, Mr Mayor.
Yeah.
Councillor Moran? Any questions? Can we please take a vote, councillors?
Councillor Phil Williams, please. Councillor David Jones. Please, Clive Jones. That's it. Thank you.
That's carried. Item number 10, the joint negotiating and consultative group meeting of Wednesday the 22nd of October.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. These are probably the shortest minutes on record because, as you can see, there wasn't a meeting and there was only one member in attendance, but I'm happy to second the councillor who was in attendance, and that's Alan Jones.
Any questions? Any comments? Right, we put that to the vote, please, councillors.
Councillor Clive Tubby. Thank you.
That's carried. Item number 12. 11. Oh, I jumped one away. Yeah. Item number 11, Cabinet meeting of Wednesday the 22nd of October. Who's proposing? Councillor Toomey.
Yes, Mr Mayor, I'm happy to move.
Second, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Williams. Any questions? Any comments? Right, can we take a vote, please, councillors? That's carried. Item number 12, the Audit Committee meeting of Monday the 3rd of November.
Can I move this agenda
Thomas.
item, please, Mr Mayor, having now pressed the right button?
Have we got a seconder? Councillor Jones. Any questions? Any comments? Right, can we take a vote, please, councillors? That's carried. Item number 13, Scrutiny Schools meeting of Monday the 3rd of November.
Can I move the minutes, Mr Mayor?
Can I
Yep,
second?
Councillor Matthews. Oh. Seconder,
Councillor Tubby has seconded.
Councillor Mitten.
Yeah, I moved it,
Sorry.
Mr Mayor.
So,
Sorry.
apologise, Councillor Mitten.
Councillor Tubby has seconded, so it's been moved and seconded.
I see a little head bobbing up and down by there. Right. Any questions? Any comments? Right, we take a vote on it, please, councillors.
That's it. That's carried.
That's carried. Item number 14, Cabinet meeting of Wednesday the 5th of November.
Yes, Mr Mayor, I'm happy to move.
Councillor Toomey. Any questions? Any comments? Right, councillors, can we take a vote, please? Oh, that's carried. Oh, I jumped one. Yeah. Item number 15, full council meeting of Wednesday, the 5th of November.
Yes, move, Mr Mayor.
Any questions? Any comments? Can we vote? Please vote, councillors. That's carried. Objections and appeals subcommittee meeting of Wednesday the 12th of November. Councillor Goldsworthy. Second, any seconders? Mr. Tony Chaplin. Any questions? Councillors, can we vote, please? That's carried. Item number 17, Planning, Regulatory and Licensing Committee of Wednesday the 12th of November. Councillor Jones.
Can I move the minutes, planning minutes of the 12th of November, Mr Mayor?
Councillor Matthews.
Second, Mr Mayor.
Any questions? Any comments? Right, councillors, can we vote, please? That's carried. Item number 18, SACRA meeting of Tuesday the 4th of November. Councillor Goldsworthy. Seconder.
Second, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Moran. Any questions? Any comments? Right, can we take a vote, please, councillors? That's carried. I think Councillor Williams is taking this.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Members will see from page 59 that the purpose of the report is to seek Council's approval for further interim management arrangements in the Community Services Directorate. Paragraph 1 sets out the background and an introduction, and paragraph 1.1 just reminds councillors that in July 2014 we received and agreed a report in respect of an interim structure, and at the time it was envisaged a permanent senior structure would be brought to council for approval in the autumn of 2014. And also at 1.2 you can see that it was the Chief Exec was given delegated authority to make interim arrangements for the appointment to the role of Statutory Director of Social Services, following consultation with the leader and cabinet member. If I can move us over to page 60 and paragraph 2.1, you can see then from there that work has actually been carried out, and a job has been done in order to refine a job role for the Chief Social Services Officer to include the functions of the Statutory Director of Social Services. The post was advertised but didn't attract sufficient applicants, and due to the current interim Director of Social Services leaving last Friday, we need to introduce further interim management arrangements for social services. The authority has been successful in recruiting or identifying an experienced ex-director to fulfil the functions of Statutory Director and to manage social services for up to 6 months whilst we recruit to the post on a permanent basis, and presumably Chief Executive also after we've had a chat to agree the final structure at Council at some stage. And also to advise members, paragraph 2.2, the post of Head of Children's Services has also been advertised, and a permanent appointment is hopefully to be made shortly. If we can move us to page 61, recommendation 6.1 is that the further interim arrangements for the management of the social services and the role of Statutory Director of Social Services be agreed, and 6.2, the roles mentioned in 1.4 above be allocated such delegated powers as are contained in the scheme and delegation applicable to each area of service delivery. Subject to questions and comments, I move the recommendations.
Is there a second now? Councillor Carter. Right. Any questions? Councillor Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is it possible to tell us who the person is going to be holding the reins for a short period? And clearly, I know there are difficulties, but it would be nice to have some sort of structure and know who the names are fairly quickly in due course after all these appointments have been made.
Mr. Mayor, can I suggest that subject to you agreeing this report, then I will tell you who's going to come in. Assure Council that the person concerned is ably experienced to carry out this role, having held director posts in 2 unitary authorities in Wales previously, and has also been the Deputy Director of Social Services in a large English authority, and is currently on 2 Welsh Government committees. So he's got a big track record in regards to delivering social care and social services, and obviously if Council agree this report, then I'll enlighten you at the end of the vote, Mr. Mayor.
Any other questions? Any comments? Councillor Carter.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. It's with regards to item number 2.2 of the report. I'd just like to advise all members, we interviewed last week for the Head of Children's Services. I'm delighted to announce that Lisa Curtis-Jones has accepted the appointment of the Head of Children's Services, and Lisa's here tonight, and I welcome Lisa to her first full council meeting as the Head of Children's Service and not the interim Head of Children's Services. So welcome, Lisa, and good luck.
Does that answer one of your questions, Councillor Thomas?
Mr. Mayor, I was just delighted with Gareth's first answer because it was quite short, but I knew he wasn't going to stop at that point.
Any other comments? Right, we take it to the vote then, please. All vote. That's carried. Can you now enlighten us, please?
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm pleased that you supported the proposal. The gentleman concerned is a gentleman by the name of Mr. Philip Hodgson. He's currently appointed by the Welsh Government to chair the National Safeguarding Advisory Panel. He was previously Corporate Director of Social Services in the City and County of Swansea. Prior to that, he was appointed by Welsh Government to be the independent chair of the Welsh Safeguarding Children's Forum, and prior to that, he was the Director of Social Services for Blaenau Gwent, having gone in there when they went into special measures. So he was with Blaenau Gwent from 2005 to 2010, so he's got a big track record. As I said, he was previously with Oxfordshire County Council for the majority of his career. And in fact, I believe he actually served as a social worker in Midlamorgan in 1980. So he's got a long track record, and I'm sure that he will give us his all. And he will commence work with us on the 8th of December, next Monday.
Any comments? Item number 21? 20, sorry. Sorry. I'm jumping, flying in me. Item number 20, the strategic workforce plan. Strategic workforce plan. Councillor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know a good dentist down the road if you want one.
His name wouldn't be I Pullham, would it?
The purpose of the report is to seek approval of the adoption of the I can't say it now, of the Strategic Workforce Plan 2014 to 2017. The introduction section sets the scene And it sets the scene by setting out actually what the leader has challenged the authority to deliver, and indeed the Chief Executive endorsed and supported and also set his own challenge, leading us therefore to paragraph 1.6 on page 64, where the plan actually has been created to support the challenges raised both by the leader and the Chief Executive. Paragraph 2 on page 64 shows how the plan was developed and the content of it. And the paragraph on paragraph 2.4 that actually is the workforce plan will form part of a yearly cycle which will be evaluated and updated each year. There will be monitoring of the action plan, and at paragraph 3.1 the financial implications are that there are none, except that there will be a need to make some investment in developing employees somewhere down the line. Therefore, the recommendation on 6.1 is that the workforce plan for 2014-17 be approved. 6.2, that the monitoring of delivery of the action plan within the transformational programme be approved. I've got a new 6.3 in advance of questions I know to be raised by some colleagues of mine, and the new 6.3 reads that delegated authority be granted to the Chief Executive in consultation with the Cabinet Member for Chief Executive Directorate and Interim HR Manager to make such changes as are appropriate to the strategic workforce plan. I know there will be some questions, so subject to questions and comments, I move the recommendations.
Is there a second up?
Yes, second, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions? Councillor Tom.
I appreciate that Councillor Williams has had problems enunciating his words this afternoon, and I sympathise greatly at my age, but I'm not sure that he hasn't answered the question. It was quite simply, who will monitor the delivery of the plan and the plan itself? I think I might have missed it at the end, Phil, sorry.
Yeah, it's the Transformation Programme Board. We're going to use that as a conduit to ensure that we are delivering this alongside our changes, to ensure that we have the right skills, the right staffing, complement to deliver our services. So it goes hand in hand, really, with the change of the whole organisation to ensuring that we have the workforce that we need. And so that's through the Transformation Programme Board.
If I may come in, Mr. Mayor, as well, just to add to that, obviously, as Richard will know, was a former Cabinet Member, that clearly the monitoring will be done on a more regular basis at local Cabinet and departmental level.
Any other questions? Any comments? Councillor Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can I take you to page 75 of the Strategic Workforce Plan? And it's at the top of the page, and it refers to details of the census between 2001 and 2011. And if you read on that paragraph, the last sentence of that, it reads, despite the fact that Merthyr Tydfil has the highest pregnancy rate for 15 to 70-year-olds in England and Wales. That is not correct, and I have double-checked that with Nicola John, who's the Director of Public Health for Tydfil Health Board, in person today. In fact, that the figure, we were one of the highest, but that has come down by 40%. It's a significant figure. And she also told me that currently we are just above the average on that. So that, I think that's an important fact to get right. And then just below that, where the refers to the percentage of those living in Merthyr Tydfil that are age 65 or over, I refer to the fact that it's 16.7%. In brackets there, it's got 741. That is incorrect, because having looked today at the single integrated plan, the council's own plan, draft needs assessment, 741 is the increase of the number of people over 65 at 2011 compared to 2001. And just for information purposes, there were at that time in 2011 just over 9,800 over 65s. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Right, that's carried. Item number 21, amendments to the MTCBC Constitution.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This
Councillor
is the
Williams.
report for the Insomniacs. I'm sure you've all read it and slept well last night. The purpose of the report. My apologies. We had a prior meeting in the diary. I do apologise. Although I have lived with this thing over the last 12 years, so. The purpose of the report is to confirm amendments to the Constitution following reports presented to the Council in recent months. 2, to seek Council's approval for recommended amendments. And 3, to confirm amendments already made. The important item, I think, really is on page 98. I've got my glasses on. Paragraph 1.4, which sets out the proposed amendments for approval by Council. And these are in 2 areas. One is the additional licensing committee, paragraph 1.4.2, and the other one is a tidying up of the estates, land, buildings and development and acquisition of lands and buildings section of the Constitution at 1.4.3. We've also got some amendment, or an amendment that was agreed by the monitoring officer under her authority, which is the whistleblowing policy on page 99. So I move us to the recommendations on page 100. 3 recommendations. 5.1, that the amendments as shown in Appendix 1 be noted. 5.2, that the amendments to the Constitution as proposed in paragraphs 1.4.2 and 1.4.3 be agreed. That's what we have to do tonight. And then 5.3, that the Constitution be amended to reflect the changes. Subject to questions and comments, I move.
Any questions? Seconder.
Yes, happy to second, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions? Councillor Jones.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Sorry, I couldn't make the workshop because I was on my way travelling up from a Tydfil board meeting. But could I just clarify on page 104 in relation to webcasting of council meetings, because that is going to carry on to committees of the council, and at this moment in time the planning committee is also going through a training programme. Does it mean that this will have to be added to after, I can only speak for my committee, but I presume it's going to go on to other committees, because it refers particularly to webcasting of council meetings. It's just not full council meetings, that means all meetings. I just wanted to clarify that.
Sorry, it is all meetings. If you look at the very beginning of the paragraph, it says certain meetings are subject to live web transmission. So even though the heading says council meetings, it doesn't just mean council.
Any other questions? Any comment? Any comments? Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can I, as somebody who did turn up for the workshop session, compliment Caris and Simon on the clear and explicit explanation they gave, which, you know, given the fact that they're legal people and solicitors, is very unusual. I think it's, as Gareth says, put 6 lawyers in a room and you'll get 7 opinions. But I'm trying to desperately find the point where I asked the question. Sorry, I'm just making this up as I go along. About the salaries, Caris, because it's sort of a one. Oh, I didn't get back that far. Thank you. Yeah, it's section 60103. It's a comment, yes, I think I'm making. I just sought clarification during the workshop because this authority has combined in a way the senior salary posts for audit and for the leader of the opposition. And I just sought clarification that this wouldn't tie the hands of any future members sitting in this seat, whereby if, for example, another member of the audit committee became chairman, that it wouldn't lose out on a salary post for the leader of the opposition. And just to point out, I'm just doing 3 jobs for the price of 1 now, which is great saving for the local authority.
That's 5 jobs less than me, Councillor Thomas. Well, I forget this is being webcast. I think the position is, as you're aware, and Caris raised this question with me before we came into the chamber, and you know, the little light bulbs going on at the moment. The audit committee, the appointment of chair, is a matter for audit committee itself, as you know, and in theory, the audit committee could actually vote for the independent member sat on the audit committee to be the chair. So I think that the issue would be then is that if that did happen, then we'd have to bring the matter back to council for council to decide, because obviously within the remuneration panel recommendations, the leader of the opposition does get a salary. So I think it's a matter that we would have to bring back to the council in due course, because it's, you know, council sets the cabinet posts, it sets all the other posts, and we would just need to come back. And I apologise, I've answered this on a comment and not on a question, Mr. Mayor.
Satisfied with the comment stroke question?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. It was just that I didn't want to vote for something which would tie the hands completely of a future administration in any shape or form. You know, the fact that I'm doing these 3 jobs out of the good nature of myself and seeking no remuneration for it, in spite of that, my answers to questions are shorter than the chief exec's.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm grateful to Councillor Thomas and for the contribution he makes to this council. I value that intensely, I can assure you. But as I recall, Mr. Mayor, it was the previous administration that actually put these arrangements into place when it went from the board system to the cabinet system, and it was one that the Labour group was happy to support.
Yes, as a member of the Audit Committee, Councillor Thomas's position as head of audit is at our discretion.
It's at the committee's discretion, which I think the Chief Executive said.
Excuse me, Chair, I've been asked to repeat it because I think Councillor Thomas was engaged in a conversation off camera. As a member of the Audit Committee, it's at the discretion of the Audit Committee who chairs the Audit Committee. I'm just repeating what the sage advice we've had from the Chief Executive.
To a vote. Councillors, please vote. That's carried. We go on to item number 22, the Biffa profit sharing scheme, and we got 3 councillors leaving the chamber who declared an interest.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let me just wipe the tears away from my eyes in respect to Councillor Richard Thomas's comments before I go any further. It's saddened me so much. Or it could be a wave of goodbye, actually, Councillor Thomas, but there we are. Page 139 sets out the issue on the Biffa profit sharing scheme. The 3 councillors have left the room because they're all involved with the Abercanney Community School. They want to give him £500. I move we give them £500.
Second that.
Yes, I'm happy to second that, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions? Any comments? Right, can we put this to a vote, please, councillors? Should be 25. Right, that's carried. It's back in, please. Welcome back, councillors. Item number 23, council tax base for 2015/16.
Thank you, Mr.
Councillor
Mayor. This
Williams,
is
you're taking
an
this.
annual report that comes to us, which actually is a statutory report in respect of setting the council tax base for the next financial year. So that's all it does. The recommendation is on page 143. At the risk of being punched on the nose by the leader, I will refrain from reading out paragraph 5.1, which is the formal resolution. But members, please be aware that when we're voting tonight, that is what we're voting on, and that is a formal statutory recommendation that we must pass tonight. I move.
Is there a seconder?
Yes, happy to second,
Councillor
Mr. Mayor.
Toomey. Any questions? No? Any comments? Right, put it to the vote. Can we vote, please, councillors? That's carried. Thank you. Item number 24, non-domestic rates, revaluation rate relief. Right, who's taking this? Councillor Williams?
Yeah, there is a point of clarification, I believe, on this particular report, Ellis, that you were going to do on paragraph 1.6. Will you do some clarification on that? 1.6 on page 146 in relation to postponement. Yeah, I haven't got it in front of me. Yeah, my apologies for that, Mr. Mayor. It was passed to me during the course of the meeting earlier on this afternoon, and since then I've had one or two sort of debates with certain characters, so it's my fault. I apologise to everyone in the council chamber. The lesson there, Ellis, is never trust me with a piece of paper in future.
Ready to proceed now, are you, Councillor Williams?
Yes, I am indeed, Mr. Mayor. I do apologise. So if I can refer us to paragraphs actually 1.5 on page 146. We just need to insert a sentence, two sentences actually, which says the business rates revaluation was postponed by Welsh Government from 2015 to 2017. However, the funding is not specifically limited to this purpose. It may also be used to further other economic development priorities identified by the authority. The reason we've asked for that to be put in is because in paragraph 1.6 there is an issue about the negative impact on the postponement of the revaluation, and we felt that some members reading this wouldn't understand what that meant, so that's why I've just given you this clarifying sentence or two, which I will ask Ellis to send to all councillors so that they're aware of what I've just said. Having said that, and I'm sure everybody is now so excited that I've clarified that for them, I'll move us to page 147, recommendations 5.1 and 5.2. 5.2, subject to comments and questions. I move.
Is there a seconder?
Mr Mayor, can I suggest that the recommendation is that it says that Cabinet, so it shouldn't be Cabinet, obviously, it should be that the Council adopts. It's in both 5.1 and 5.2. Not.
Are you agreeing to that, Councillor Williams? Right, have we got a seconder for this motion?
Mr Mayor, I'm happy to second it, and perhaps I should take the last reports. I think Councillor Williams' sugar is starting to crash rapidly.
Right, any questions? Any comments? Right, councillors, we'll take a vote on it, please. Agenda item number 25, and I'm so pleased to be putting this before council tonight.
Mr Mayor, can I move, Mr Mayor, I understand your excitement, so can I move section 100?
Section 100.
Mr Mayor, can I second section 100 and then shut up?
Right, can I take a vote, please, councillors?
Councillor Bill Smith, please. Councillor Gareth Jones.
Right, that's carried.
Mr Mayor, can I move that section 100 is now dropped?
Yes.
In that case, Mr Mayor, can I just take this opportunity to update Council about the current situation regarding potential local authority mergers? Mr Mayor, last Monday I met with the leader of Tydfil County Borough Council alongside with the Chief Executive, Mr Chapman, and on Tuesday I met with the leader of RCT County Borough Council. Both meetings took place in a very positive manner, and the pros and cons of merger were discussed in some detail. Disappointingly, Mr Mayor, Tydfil has now clearly stated that it wants to stand alone as an authority, which is a public statement that had been made some time ago, and they are sticking with that position at this point in time, although a directive may be forthcoming from the Minister in due course, who knows. And RCT has now stated that it is not in its interest to merge with Merthyr Tydfil at this time. Discussions are continuing with RCT, Mr Mayor, on further collaborative working together with longer term options, and given all those factors, I've now asked the Chief Executive to write to Welsh Government to advise them of our current situation. I am happy to answer questions from members.
Any questions? Right. Any comments? No. Right, well, we don't have to take this.